Hi, what's up? Welcome to the first official episode of Americanized Korean. First off, just want to say thanks for taking the time out of your day to listen to this. But yeah, let's just get into it. So, hi, I'm Sydney. Sometimes I go by Sid, sometimes I don't. I just turned 19 recently, and I'm a second year college student at. And I major in, well, we'll actually get into that in a future episode. Sorry. I'm from North Hollywood, which is in LA County for you people who don't know where that is. But right now I currently reside in. Well, really obvious fact, but I'm Korean, duh. And I keep emphasizing on that just because, for one, it's literally in the name of the podcast. And two, physically, I look like a typical Korean because of the pale skin and dark hair and all that. But most of the time, I get called really whitewashed. Oh my gosh, you're one of those I'm not like other girls type people, huh? Yeah, probably, maybe a little bit, yeah. But it's more like this. There's always been like two sides of my identity, my Asian heritage and my westernized upbringing. Also, before I continue, I just want to point out that I say Americanized instead of whitewashed because that entails that I spent most of my life surrounded by white people. I don't really get offended when people say I'm whitewashed or banana or anything because I get what people mean. And Americanized is just more comfortable to me because I grew up with a more diverse group of people all my life. And it was never only one race that dominated my upbringing, except my own race. But even that isn't really so prominent. But yeah, anyways, back to the other point. It seems obvious that all Americans are Americanized, but that's not how I've seen it, at least. So I'm a second generation Korean American, which basically means I was born here in the US. My grandparents immigrated to the US while my parents were super young, and my dad came at 9 years old while my mom came at 12 years old. My dad grew up in LA County while my mom grew up in Orange County in Anaheim. Basically, Americanized dad, Koreanized mom. My mom isn't even that Koreanized in comparison to other Korean moms, but she resonates a little bit more with Korean culture than my dad does. Not to say my dad isn't Koreanized, but location and language barriers definitely had something to do with who they are today. As for me, culturally speaking, I grew up in a more Americanized manner. I was always surrounded by a group of diverse people at school, and my close friends in high school were Hispanic and Latino. So, not many Koreans except in church or the occasional one or two people in my class. I mean, until college, but college is always full of Asian people anyways, so. If I'm being honest though, the most Korean thing about me is probably the food I eat and the fact that I do taekwondo. But I don't speak Korean that well, and I know, shocker, but I can barely understand anything. I know food, numbers, the alphabet, and basic objects, but that's about it. I can read Korean, but I won't know what it's saying at all. Because I don't hang out with Korean people all that much, I had identity crises. Yeah. So I had a lot of identity crises growing up, but it's not like I didn't know who I was or that I hated being Americanized or Korean in any way, but I always felt kind of out of place. I wasn't ever Korean enough around Asians, but sometimes I felt too Korean for my non-Asian friends. Same kind of goes for religion. My closest friends knew everything about me, but never fully understood my religious beliefs. The religious people I did know, I didn't ever get along with them well or was never that close to them. I get so many things assumed about me, such as people thinking I speak Korean or that I only listen to K-pop, and I want to throw that all out and show that there are people like me out there who exist. I can't tell you how many times an adult will come up to me and ask me something in Korean, so I'll either have to stand there looking really stupid or I'll have to let my parents talk for me. And I always feel really bad because it looks so disrespectful in our culture, and I wish I knew more Korean, but some people just don't. Eventually, I realized that there are people out there who do understand me, but there will always be people who don't. People are willing to listen, even if they haven't personally gone through something like I have, and I've met good people along the way, and I realized how refreshing it is to have a few solid people around me, rather than dwell on the majority who probably won't understand, and that's fine. But it is refreshing when I meet anyone who understands what it is like to experience the same things I have. Like, you don't speak your native tongue either. Man, that must mean you're Americanized too. And just because I'm Americanized doesn't mean I don't understand the things about my culture. I just don't indulge in them as much as other people do. It's like having two flavors of ice cream in one cup. Yeah, I'm not from Irvine or K-Town, but I probably buy the same brand of melon bars and banana milk as you. I've spent my fair share of time at swap meets just as much as Daiso's too. And I don't really play League, but I mean, you like Animal Crossing and actually played the old ones as a kid? Don't you miss sitting at Brewster and when villagers could come over to your house and the fact that Froggetture has a. Anyways, my point is, it's important to acknowledge our differences even if we share the same label. That's part of the reason why I wanted to start a platform like this. I'm almost down to be open and get to know others on a personal level. And when we see what other people go through, it opens up someone's true character instead of sticking to assumptions. And I don't want to keep it like that forever. It just feels more honest and genuine to do something like this to build more awareness about who I am and what other people may experience too. There are plenty of people who go on Instagram all day or watch ghost documentaries, but it's not every day that you get to acknowledge the reasons behind someone's passion for tattooing people or space travel or even aquaponics. But yeah, sorry to get all motivational speaker on you, but I guess that wraps it up for now. This was only the surface level things, and there's going to be a lot more talks coming about deeper things. So I'm going to be using this space to get real, and I hope you guys stick around. So thanks for tuning in, and if you want to check out my Instagram, it's at Americanized Korean _podcast. So yeah, I hope you check it out, and I'll see you next time.